Before we get started with the screen printing process, we realize some people might not know what screen printing is. So this section we're going to quickly overview how screen printing works and what it is. If you already know a little bit about screen printing, feel free to skip forward to the next section. Screen printing is a process of printing an ink through an open mesh onto a substrate. The ink is printed with a squeegee and it's printed through a stencil image through that mesh and onto a substrate. It also used to be known as silk screening because the mesh used to be silk that the ink was printed through. Now the mesh is made out of a polyester fiber and the main term for it is screen printing, although a lot of people still refer to it as silk screening. Let's show how it works. First of all, you have a frame. On the frame, it's either made out of wood or aluminum and it has mesh stretched across it. That's this material right here. The pink stuff you see on the screen, that's your stencil. That's called emulsion. It's coated on and we'll show how to do that later, but this is a light sensitive product. Well, how do you get your image on your stencil? That's where a positive film comes into. Positive film is a light blocking film that is placed up against the emulsion. When we expose the screen with light, the emulsion becomes hard. However, the positive areas of the film, the black ink on the positive film, block out the light from reaching that area of the screen, leaving that area of the screen unexposed. After the screen's done exposing, you put it in a washout sink and rinse it out with water. The areas of the screen that were exposed with light are left hard. The areas underneath the positive film are unexposed and left soft. This part rinses out with water, leaving the mesh open so then you can print ink through it. Let's print our positive film and go expose it. In an artwork program like Photoshop or Illustrator, we'll design and print our artwork. This is printed using an Epson printer and an Accurate software to get the detail needed for this image. Now we're in our darkroom where we're going to line up our film and expose the screen. We'll line up using this light table with a pre-registration board on it. Now our film's lined up, let's take it over to the exposure unit. This unit shoots ultraviolet light directly into the screen, and it uses a vacuum to put pressure down on the screen. Once our screen's been exposed for the proper amount of time, we take it out of the exposure unit, take the film off, and bring it over to the washout sink. You can already see the undeveloped area of the image right there. And once we rinse that out with water, that will rinse open, leaving the mesh so we can screen print through it. Now let it dry and go print. Here we are at the press. You see our screen's washed out. To print, we'll simply put it into the press, register it, tape it, and be on our way. Once we register it up, we'll load up ink and print. Here we are. Now we either flash it with a flash dryer and cure it or put it in a conveyor dryer. Then it's time to wear it and we get on with our video. Once it comes out of the dryer, our shirt is cured and ready for wearing. Well, that's our basic overview of screen printing. Now this DVD will take you step by step in the actual specifics of the process. Let's get started.